call Chris Little.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Can I also thank the teaching, non-teaching staff, parents and pupils across Northern Ireland for their leadership and hard work during this public health emergency. As of today, there are 600 children in Northern Ireland waiting longer than the statutory limit of 6 months for a statement of special educational need. There are 285 children with statements of special educational need who do not yet have a school place for September 2020. 156 of those children are without a place in a special school. Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, these are some of the most vulnerable children in our community. The children, their families, their schools and this Assembly demand to know what specific action the Education Minister has taken to arrest the dysfunctionality of special educational needs statementing and area planning that is failing children with special educational needs in Northern Ireland.
I thank the member for his question. The figures that he's outlined, I think, are unacceptable. It is clear that given the assessment that was done and the inquiry that was done into the Education Authority produced a range of recommendations which showed that there was a level of dysfunctionality within the Education Authority in relation to special educational needs. Those are being implemented. I think there has been a level of delay because of the COVID situation, but as part of that, while ultimately a lot of this is internal to the EA, we are keeping a close monitoring arrangement on that and ensuring, for instance, that there is a representative of the department, indeed in any implementation board. But it is also, those are, if you like, call it the systemic issues which need to be tackled, particularly in the short to medium term. There's also then the very specific issue of the unplaced children. And today my officials have been meeting with, the Executive have been on at the same time, but my officials have been meeting with the Education Authority to discuss the issue. We expect to see progress on that. And indeed, for each individual family within that, it creates an enormous level of burden and uncertainty. And so this is something which does need to be tackled as quickly as possible and as thoroughly as possible, because it's unacceptable that any child is left without a school place.
Chris Little for supplementary.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Given the dysfunction of the special education statementing and area planning processes, does the Minister accept that his suspension of the independent review of education was wrong and that it must be restarted immediately?
With respect, I have not suspended the independent review of education. The position in terms of that, and perhaps the member should check his facts in relation to that, the position is that it, as well as the independent panel on, are part of the NDNA commitments, which we are progressing. There is budget in line with those, but to establish those will require a level of, for example, there will be actually have to establish who the membership of that will be, what the terms of reference will be. Everything, and indeed the approach that's been taken by the Executive as a whole, has been to focus in everything it can on the COVID situation. Those issues will be progressed as quickly as possible and as soon as possible, but there has been no suspension of anyone, and it would be misleading to give the impression that it has been suspended.
I call William Humphrey.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. I thank the Minister for a statement to the House today, and I too, on behalf of my party, thank the principals, teachers,